Hello, everybody, and welcome to Angels News. Like every Tuesday, except last Tuesday, we didn't have Angels News because it was a holiday for us here in Israel. I'm Rakefet Beka. I'm a spiritual guide, and we are here every week. We receive the weekly message on Sundays, and on Tuesdays, we have Angels News. So I see that you're starting to join me. That's wonderful. Just say hello and we can just get started because we have important things to talk about and not a lot of time to do that. So I don't know if you've seen the message on Sunday. The message came from Bathsheba, and she was the mother of David, the King David, and King David, yes. And no, I'm wrong. Let me get back to you. Sorry, it's an important thing to say correctly, so I will just be accurate in a few seconds. So I was starting to say that no, she was married to King David, and she was the mother of King Solomon. Sorry, that was something important to say. Okay, so hello, I see you joining me. Hi. Okay, sorry. Let's do it again. So the message came from Bathsheba on Sunday, and Bathsheba talked to us about fears, and she said that we have now a time that a lot of fears are raising, and we did initiation for the beginning of the new Jewish month on Thursday, and the initiation was actually was related to fears in all levels of creation. And what we did in this initiation, we actually went back in time until Adam and Eve, and we cleaned the fear that they had when they had to leave Eden, when they were told that they did something they shouldn't have done, and they now need to leave Eden, and they were afraid that they will not know how to experience Eden again in their life. They were afraid that it will be hard for them, that they were afraid that it will be painful for them, and fear started then. And one of the things they said during the initiation is that when we have fear for a long time, it changes our DNA. They said, how come you have now all kind of diseases that go from one parent to his child, and they are in the family, they run in the family, and you didn't have that disease before? How come these diseases weren't existed in like about maybe 100 years ago? They didn't have that disease. Why they have it now? And they say, well, you have it because you keep being afraid of it, and you keep thinking of it. So you're keeping that disease in you. And what happens is that your DNA changes, and then you transfer it to your kids, and it become a family disease that go from one person to another. So they said that when we did the cleaning, when we went back in time and we cleansed the fear out of Adam and Eve, so what happens now is, yes, we did a cleansing process, but now a lot of fears will raise up, and we will have to deal with them differently from what we've dealt with them until now. So what they ask us to know, to remember, is when we have fear raising within us, and it can be not just fear, it can be also anger, it can be sadness, because they're all related to fear. All emotions are we can divide them to two. We can divide them to based on fear or based on love. And if they're good, good emotions, happy and fulfillment and satisfaction, relaxation, all kind of things like that, they are related to love. And if they are anger or maybe anxiety, I don't know, sadness, they're all related to being fear, but they're all related to fear. The base is fear. So I see more people are joining me. Hi, I'm just going to say hello. So thank you for being here, and you can share this live with more people or tag people that you think can help them. So when we have those emotions, we know that we have emotions that are related to fear, that the base is fear. And what we want to know is, when we experience them, the first thing is that they are a tool for us to grow. Because now that we have cleaned the fears out of the history of human beings, every time that a fear raises up, we have a way to deal with it and to know that it is a growth for us. It is actually like jumping in our growth, in our spiritual growth, in our personal development process. We have here now a jump that we can do because we find that fear and we can work with it. So let's talk about how can we work with that fear. And they said that we have two kind of fears, and they're actually related to one another. One fear is, most of the fears are when we are afraid from the unknown, when we don't know what is going to happen, and we are trying to control our life, and we're trying to know that everything will be okay, but we don't know. For instance, if I'm waiting for a result from, I don't know, a test, or from a job that I went to, or an exam, or something that I'm waiting to receive the answer and I don't know what is the answer. And I feel that another person is holding the ticket to my future, have my future in his hands. This is one option. The second option is when I had an experience in the future and I'm now afraid to experience that thing again. Now, it's actually the same thing, because when I have something that I remember from the past that happened to me and I'm afraid to experience it again in the future, it still doesn't mean that I will experience that. I know a lot of people that have experienced trauma, maybe in giving birth. Okay, like for me, for instance, the first time that I gave birth to my eldest girl, it was really difficult. It was actually traumatized for me. But the second one, I was really afraid to do that again. For a whole year, I kept telling my husband we were going to adopt because I was really afraid to experience that again. But then after a process that I did, I decided I do want to do that again. And I did give birth again. I have 3 kids now. And the second time was actually much, much better. But I couldn't know that before I experienced that. So what the fear was, that I was afraid to experience again that experience that I already had in the past. I was afraid to experience again in the future. So it's actually the same thing. So when we have that past experience, that memory that we have, it can be abandon issues and all kind of things that we experience in our childhood or even in another lifetime. When we have that experience, we are afraid to experience that again, and we are actually saying, I don't have any control. I am afraid to experience that thing again that I don't want to experience, and I'm afraid, but I don't know what to do in order to avoid that. So again, we feel that we don't have any control on our life. We are afraid that we don't know. We are afraid from the unknown, and we are afraid that we don't have the control. And what they told me about that mission that they gave us on Sunday, they told us, Batsheva said, when you are experience fear, remember that it is a tool for you for self-growth, and ask yourself, what is this fear came here to teach me? Now, that question seems reasonable when I can look at the fear. But when I've experienced the fear in me, at that moment, I'm trying to ask that question, but I can't always hear the answer because I hear more fear. So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to remind ourselves that that fear that is now this big, okay, because now if I have that fear coming to me, it's huge, and I feel that it's so big. And when I tell myself, okay, it's good that I have fear now, because it means that I have here now a jump in my growth. So all of a sudden, from being this big, it now smaller, and now I'm happy because I'm going to do something that's going to help me experience self-growth and my spiritual development, and I really want to do that part. So I'm happy that I have that fear, I have that experience, because I can use it now to grow. So I see more people. Hello, hello. And when she said to us, now you have that fear, and you say to yourself, well, I have now the opportunity to grow, and I'm going to look at that fear, and I'm going to remind myself that the only thing that I really have is this moment. There are 2 things that can help me go through this fear now. The first is remember that there is no future. The future is something that I really don't have any control of. Even though I can plan what I'm going to do tomorrow, I don't know for certain that I'll be here tomorrow. I don't really know what tomorrow will bring to my life. I think I know. I can plan what I want it to be, but no one give me guarantee that tomorrow will be what I think it is. And if you will look at the past 2 years in the COVID-19, all around the world we've experienced, plans are changing. There is a saying that says, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So we can plan, we can feel that we are controlling our life, but it's an illusion because I really don't know what will happen in 5 minutes from now. I think I know. I know I'm here, but I really don't know. And there might be something else that will happen. And thinking that we are controlling our future, it's an illusion. I'm still going to do summoning the reality. I'm still going to imagine the future. I'm still going to do all those things. But when you experience fear, if you remind yourself that the only thing that you have is this moment, you can help yourself deal with fear. And why is that? I don't know if you know, but there is a rule, a nature rule, that say that only one thought can be in the same time. We can only think one thought at that moment. We cannot think two thoughts in the same moment. That means that if at a moment I experience fear, the only thing that I need to do is remind myself to use my imagination at that moment, only that one. Okay? So, for instance, I had an experience yesterday that something, I thought about something and I felt fear. And then the only thing that I had to do is to think about something else that makes me happy. Okay, we'll talk about anxiety in a few seconds. To think about something else that make me happy. Now, what I did, I didn't know if I told you, but I used to be I had used to have a lot of anxiety, and I took treatments. It was about when I was about almost 20 years from now. I feel so old saying that, but it was when I was in the army. So I used to have a lot of anxiety then, and I had a treatment. I had to go to treatment for half a year, for 6 months, and when I felt the anxiety, and I realized that I have to deal with it because I didn't want to experience the anxiety my entire life, and I had to take the control back to my hands on my life. And what I did is two things. One is that I gave the anxiety a name. Okay, I used to call the anxiety Shoshana. In Hebrew, it means rose. So I used to call it Rose. And every time that I felt anxiety raising up and telling me that this is dangerous to me and this is dangerous, I used to say, well, Shoshana thinks that, but I don't think that. Okay? I'm not anxiety. I'm not Shoshana. She is Shoshana. She is Rose. I'm Rakefet. I'm not thinking that. Okay? And it's like when you say hand, this is my hand. I'm not the hand. Okay? So this was my anxiety. This is Shoshana. This is Rose. It's not me. It's not who I am. So I used to say that to myself, and then I could speak to Shoshana and tell her, stop bothering me now. I don't want to listen to you. I don't listen to your stories. It's your stories. It's not my story. And this was the first thing that I used to say when I just wanted to take it away from me. Instead of saying, I'm thinking that, I used to say, well, Shoshana is thinking that, and it's not my thought. It's her. It's all her. It's not me. And then the second thing that I used to do is that I think about something else that makes me happy. So now I have kids. So what I did in my phone, I've put my son laughing, and I recorded my son laughing. And every time that I feel the anxiety or fear, I don't have the anxiety anymore, but when I feel fear, so I can just play the recording and it makes me happy again. Or that I can imagine a trip that we did together and it makes me happy again, because only thing that we have is this moment. We don't have the future. We don't have the past. We have only this moment. And the second thing that we use in this moment is our imagination. So when we experience fear, it looks that big, we tell ourselves, okay, it's huge, but it is, we have here a jump, an opportunity to jump really high and to grow and to develop our spirituality. And we have an opportunity here that we really want to embrace that opportunity and take ourselves to the next level. And then all of a sudden, from being this big, the fear is this big, it's now getting smaller. And now I'm happy that I have that fear. And then I look at that fear and I see it and I say, okay, well, it's not my fear. It's someone else's fear. It's Shoshana. I'm looking at the fear and I'm saying, you're not fear. You're not me. Okay. You're just a fear. Okay. And then I say, okay, I want to think about something else. So I'm thinking about something else that makes me happy. And when I'm thinking about that things that make me happy, all of a sudden I feel better. When I feel better, now I can ask myself, why did I experience that fear? What did it came here to show me about myself? When I ask myself, why did I experience that fear? I realized that I was trying to control something. And thinking about controlling something means that I have, that I need to believe more. Okay. Lack of belief. And that I need to work on my belief. And I stopped and I thought, well, I do believe in God. I do believe in the power of creation. I do believe in our ability to imagine things and to bring them into my life. So if I want something to happen, I will just imagine that thing that I want to imagine, to create in my life, to summon into my life. And that's what I did. So instead of being afraid that things that I want will not happen, I said, well, this is obviously using the energy in the wrong way. Let's imagine the things that I do want and to use that energy to create what I want instead of bringing more fear into my life. So, when we have an anxiety, a lot of people feel that they can do that only for just 1 second, that I can think, can change my thought to something else that make me happy for a second, then the anxiety comes back. I know because I used to experience that. Yes, but then a second after, you can again go to that thought, another thought that makes you happy. So we are actually exercising that process. And the things that he told us is that the initiation took us to another level that now helps us to exercise that thing. So if it was harder for us in the past to do the switch from thinking anxiety thoughts or fear to feel fear and to think happy thought and then go back to them and again back and forth. So now it's easier for us because we have cleansed the energy of fear from all levels of creation and from all levels of time. So now when we are doing this work, we are actually raising the vibration a lot more, and it's easier to do, and it's easier also to do for the entire world because we are affecting on one another. By the way, if you have questions, feel free to write them down. Okay, so I'll look at them in a few seconds. So one of the things that we want to know is, well, I don't know if you know, but we have now in September, it's a lot of Jewish holidays. So the first one was Rosh Hashanah, which is the beginning of the Jewish year. And we have now Kippur Day, which is a day that we are asking for forgiveness. And it's like a day, if I take it I'm trying to experience that. It's like a day of redemption. We ask for forgiveness from God and from people, from ourselves. And a lot of people think we have in Hebrew the word le'anot, and le'anot means to torture, but you write it the same way that you write the word to answer. So when I ask today for a message for this day, from the day of Kippur, which is the day that we people think about what they've done this year and apologize to people, ask for forgiveness from people, and you need to do that from all your heart. So the angel Michael said, we don't want you to torture yourself. We are fasting on those. It's 25 hours that we are fasting. Not everyone do it, obviously. Only people that feel that they want to. Um, and when you are fasting, normally we say that we need to think, we need to torture ourselves. That's why we are fasting. We are torturing the body, so that will feel redemption. Now, Mikael the angel said to me today, he said that the message for Yom Kippur is that they don't want us to torture ourselves. No, they ask us not to eat, to fast, in order to clean ourselves to a new beginning. And it's like a restart for our body. But at the same time, instead of torturing, which is the same word as I said in Hebrew, as answering, they ask us to ask questions and to give answers to our soul, to do a lot of thinking and looking at the past year in order to understand where we are and to give answers to our soul. So it's a dialogue between our mind and our soul and our body. And it's really different from torturing myself. I'm not fasting because I'm torturing myself. No, there's a lot of fear when you think about torture. No, I'm fasting because I'm doing a restart for my body and I'm not touching any electricity. And because I don't want any distractions, I want to have a dialogue between my mind and my soul and my body in order to understand what have happened to me in the past year and where am I now in my life, and to forgive myself for all the times that I were mad about myself, that I said bad things to myself, that I felt that I'm disappointing myself. So this day, the day of Kippur, it's an important day. You don't have to be Jewish in order to stop and to do that thing, to do that process of asking yourself, do I forgive myself? And after you do that process with yourself and you do feel that you can forgive yourself, the next level is to be able to really ask for forgiveness from all your heart from other people around you and to forgive them as well, because uh, it's something that sometimes we say, yes, I forgive you, but inside of us, we're still feeling those emotions that they are not forgiveness. They're emotions of disagreeing, of being afraid. They are based on fear. And as I said before, we have more diseases because we are keeping those energies, those are vibrations of fear, of stress in our body. So new diseases occur in our world, COVID-19, for instance. So in order to stop that from happening, in order for us to experience good health for us and for our kids and for our entire family to come in the future, grandkids, and what we need to do is to really be able to forgive, to be able to forgive ourselves, to be able to forgive other people, to be able to ask for forgiveness from all our hearts, because that's the way that we will be able not to transfer more vibrations of fear and not to create more diseases. And the, the last thing is that this time that we are in, I've talked about it, I think 2 weeks ago, is a time of change. A lot of change happens here really fast. And next week, on the end, it's not exactly the end. I'll tell you the date. I want to tell you the date because it is important. The date between the 27th to the 29th of September. It's not next week. It's a week after that. There's going to be a lot of energies coming to this universe. I will talk about it again probably on that day, on the 28th, maybe, I don't know yet. And a lot of energies were going to come into this earth. There is already cycles, rings of light above this earth that are waiting to come here. In order for us to receive them and to ground them, we need to let go of fear, because when we receive so much light, sometimes we are afraid of being in the light. Sometimes we are afraid from our own light. This is the time to let go of that fear. This is the time to accept our light and to accept the light that our body wants to receive, and to be able to say to ourselves, I'm releasing all fear and connecting to the light. So if you feel that it is the time for you to say that, if you feel that you are ready, feel free to write it down. I'm letting go from all fears and connecting to the light. And if not, take your time. When you feel it's right, come back, write it down, declare to the world that you are ready, that the world will know, and let the process begin, because it's here. It's here now. It started on the 6th of September. This process started. So we are in it. We are already in it. And we are getting deeper and deeper. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I see that you are writing to me. Avinash, that's great. That's great. Yes, I'm ready. I believe you. I believe you that you are ready. And Tin is writing, I want to let go of all my fears. So, and I see I want to let the light come. So write it down that you are ready. I am ready to let go of all my fears and to connect to the light. Just write it. I'm ready. And trust that the world, the universe, the energies, the angels, they will help us. They will help us do that. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, universe, for the amazing opportunity to overcome my limited beliefs and become best of myself. Amazing. Avinash, this is a beautiful sentence that you wrote. Thank you. So thank you so much, really, for being here, and thank you for sharing. Please share this live with more people. We are in such an important time. We all need to let go of our fears, because the light is here and we really all want to experience the light. Dean, you're amazing. You're ready. I believe you. You're ready. And then Angela, write down that you are ready as well. Not just want to. I am ready. I am ready. Thank you, angels and Rakefet. Thank you, Avinash. Wow. Thank you so much. Next week I will be in Macedonia with a beautiful group that I'm taking, a feminine group. And I don't know exactly when I will have the weekly message. I will not have the angels news, because I will be with them in the trip. So I will send the angels message, the weekly message. Thank you for sharing, and have a wonderful week. Bye.